Well, Diddy is, kind of diversifying himself, if you will, and or divesting himself, I think is probably the correct term. Revolt, the media company that he co-founded, it's now undergone a seismic shift in its ownership. Combs is, of course, facing multiple sexual assault allegations. He recently sold his majority stake in the company. The reins now pass to Revolt's own employees, marking a rare and transformative structure in the media landscape. In a statement released yesterday, Revolt CEO Detavio Samuels confirmed the transition. 100% of Sean Combs' shares have been redeemed and retired. He is no longer chairman. He is no longer on the board. He has no shares, no equity in Revolt. We are completely separated and disassociated from each other. What's your thoughts on that thus far into this story? Is this him, being kind to people in that company because he doesn't want to have that media company go down because he's connected with it and all these jobs and things lost? Or is this more of, oh, fuck, I'm going to need every last penny I have to basically pay legal fees for the rest of my life?
I would love it if it was option one, but based on what we've seen in, that hotel video was enough to turn me completely against this guy. Anybody who could treat another human being that way, he is only looking out for himself. Yeah. He is trying to divest so that this company can still exist and he can make some money off of it at some point.
While there's still money to be made.
Exactly. Yeah. He's not doing this because he feels bad that everybody's going to get dragged through the mud.
Yeah, I hear you.
This is a shitty human being.
Yep.
He's doing this for himself.
If he hung on to it longer, it would pull the company down and it would be worth nothing to him.
Yep.
Or anyone else. But it's not the anyone else he's considering here. It's him.
It's all him.
The move positions Revolt's employees as the new stewards of the company. It's a groundbreaking shift that reflects their commitment to amplifying Black culture globally. Samuels expressed pride in the transformation. Our teams will experience a shift from being employees to owners of the business they're helping to build. Revolt's superpower lies in being a home to creators who move culture globally. Combs' departure from the board occurred last November when the allegations first surfaced. God, it's been that long now, hasn't it? God, wow. It's like almost half a year. The chart top, it is more than half a year. Mm-hmm. Shit. It seems like this shit just dropped. The chart-topping artist faced claims of sexual harassment directed at colleagues and other women in the music industry. Additionally, he settled a claim related to physical abuse against his ex-partner and fellow musician Cassie. A recent release of surveillance video from 2016 showing Combs violently assaulting Cassie in a hotel further intensified scrutiny. Employees at Revolt expressed deep concern upon viewing the footage, emphasizing their commitment to a safe and respectful workplace. Speculation now swirls around Combs potentially facing a criminal indictment. Earlier this year, federal investigators raided his homes, probing allegations of money laundering and illegal drug activities. CNN reported that the investigation remains ongoing. So this is good for the Revolt company and the employees and what they're trying to do and what their mission is. So good for them, even though they had to get to this point through the navigating of a sociopathic narcissist.
Can you imagine being an employee of that company? You're doing your job, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you get a memo that, we've got some bad press coming our way. How do you stomach that,
I would imagine that board, even though Diddy was like the chairman of it and everything, I imagine the rest of that board probably, I'm going to guess if they had any sense, they came to him and said, you got to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder how much Diddy's ego allowed him to say, I got to leave, or if like that whole company said, either you leave or everyone here is going to quit. And then you really won't have a company and have no money to get off of this because we'll just burn the ship down ourselves.
I'm guessing that's exactly what happened. The board met and they went, this guy's got to be away from us, completely dissociated. We can't even discuss him.
Yeah. He needs to be a was he part of it at one time? If somebody asks, Yeah, kind of, but that's it. And he's no longer part of it. He has nothing to do with the company. And hopefully they can continue on and do what they're doing. I mean, they certainly have made a name for themselves. But my gosh, yeah, I can't imagine, I wonder how many people initially left like immediately when these allegations came out, when the video dropped and all of that, and just said, you know what, I'm not going to be part of the company where that's the head. And how much have they been hemorrhaging since? I'm just speculating. I have no idea.
I would imagine quite a bit. I mean, this is so catastrophic to a brand. I mean, this is as bad as Bill Cosby and Jell-O pudding pops, It's just terrible.
I know, and Jell-O pudding pops were frickin' delicious.
I know.
But the thing is, you bring him back, all you think of is Bill Cosby. Although they did exist for several years after. And I'll tell you what, if you have like a popsicle maker type thing, you can make your own. You just got to get big Jell-O pudding and put it in the popsicle thing. It works lovely. I've done it.
Have you really?
I have. And the audience is like, how did we go from Diddy to Jell-O pudding pops? I don't know, but this is what we do on this show. And well, actually, it was like probably about a year ago. You and me were talking about random shit as we always do, and Jell-O pudding pops came up, and we both discovered our love of Jell-O pudding pops.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know anybody who also remembers them. And they were great. You get them in the freezer section. They were my favorite ice cream thing of summer. Better than the push-ups, better than the rocket pops or whatever, the red, white, and blue. Jell-O pudding pops. Top of the line.
You know what my favorite was? The chocolate.
The swirl.
Yeah, the butterscotch. It was chocolate butterscotch, I think.
Butterscotch? All I remember is vanilla and chocolate.
Yeah, I used to spend my summers out in South Dakota, and really that's all I had was just chocolate and butterscotch. There was no vanilla. It was so good.
I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, I am too.
Because I'm wondering,
we should have like a recipe section, because we get off on tangents about food every now and then. You should have a recipe section that we can reference.
They did make it. It's not because I was thinking, is this like a Mandela effect for you? like there was no butterscotch one. And Jell-O made a butterscotch pudding in the 1980s. Kraft Heinz. Oh wait, no, they made a pudding back then. This is talking about the pudding.
Oh, I forgot to put in pudding pops. All right, I'm looking it up. It was so good. I know I am not making this up.
I don't know. This could be a false memory. I don't know.
Oh my God. I'm looking for it. Where is it?
I don't think there ever was one.
No, chocolate and vanilla swirl. What the hell?
The butterscotch chocolate swirl ones. People are saying was their favorite, but I'm not seeing a lot of evidence that it existed.
Well, it was a traumatic childhood. I had to spend my summers in Aberdeen, South Dakota, which is just a horrible place. I'm sorry if somebody from Aberdeen is listening, but you guys you're stuck like in the 70s, like late 70s.
Yeah.
Oh God. It's just terrible. It's but I grew up in Minneapolis, big metropolitan city. And then my summers I had to go spend in this tiny podunk town where nothing was progressive. It was like, oh my God, I've gone back in time. And I would go shift back in time every summer. So like pudding pops were my thing.
There's
that and music.
There's a recipe on the Kraft Heinz website for Jell-O pudding pops. And it's basically a 3.9 ounce Jell-O chocolate flavored instant pudding and cold milk. And then you freeze it.
Oh, that sounds terribly easy.
It's insanely easy to make Jell-O pudding pops at home, minus Bill Cosby. Or Diddy, for that matter. But I don't know about the butterscotch one. I don't know. I think it might have been. Were you watching Shazam when you had the Jell-O pudding pop, the butterscotch one?
No, probably Little House on the Prairie.
It wasn't. So you're telling me it was not Shazam? It was not the Sinbad movie, where he was a genie. Then did you like flip over to like Tiananmen Square and watch the person get run over?
I did not. No.
Okay. All right.
No. I'm going to look these up. I hope you're wrong about this. I remember butterscotch.
Did you watch the coverage of Mandela being killed in prison while you're eating your Jello pudding pops?
I did not, no.
Okay, there's a lot to watch while eating those butterscotch Jello pudding pops.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on true crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.